Hi everyone, in this video I want to talk about multiplying matrices. Here are the two problems that we'll do, and to make sure we don't take ourselves too seriously, let's think about the fun question. What is your best memory from grade school? All right, so the matrix category really could be its own entity under Algebra 1 or 2. If I had to group it under one of these that is listed here, systems of equations and matrices are often taught closely together because you can use a matrix to solve a system. So sometimes you see this in Algebra 1, sometimes in Algebra 2. Is it on the ACT? Yes. And the standards say that you could either add, subtract, or multiply by a scalar, meaning a constant, either integer or whole number on the outside of the matrix, or you could multiply two matrices together. So what a lot of my students think is because adding and subtracting matrices is so straightforward, they think that this answer would be just 0, 16, -10, and so on. But sadly, that is not true. It is, we can't follow that same model for multiplying. So let's just go over quickly what a matrix is. It is an array of numbers, and you can call those numbers entries. We have, or elements. And so you have rows and columns. So this matrix right here would be a 2 by 3. This is a 3 by 2. Remember that you always report our rows first, number of rows, and then number of columns. So these two over here are a 2 by 2 and a 2 by 2. And to figure out if we are allowed to multiply these, we want to think about what this process entails. So what I'm going to do is highlight these two middle ones right here. If those numbers on the middle, and it has to be written in order like this, if the two middles match, if they are the same number, then yes, you can multiply them. And so what's left over, this 2 by 2, is going to be the answer. Now, if you have it just, if they match, it makes sense that your answer would be a 2 by 2, but that is not always the case. So my final answer will be a 2 by 2. And what I want to do is give myself a lot of room here, and you'll see why. But I'm going to just remind myself that a 2 by 2 will be my answer. Okay, here's the easiest way to explain how to do this process. For the first matrix, you must always group the numbers horizontally. And then in the second one, you always group them vertically. So it's best to think of it like this. We have a top and a bottom, and then we have a left and a right. Okay. Now, what some people do is they will color code these so that you can think of them as, different groupings. It's nice to see them show up over here in color, so I can follow that. All right. This 2 by 2 matrix will have 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers in the matrix. Okay. So what I want to do is think of this top one as my top left. This would be top right, bottom left, and bottom right. So to get the top left, I need to use the top and the left matrices here in order to somehow get it one number on the other side. So the process goes like this. -6 times 0, because we need the firsts together, and then we need the second numbers together, -4 times 2. Notice you're multiplying them, and the first with the first, the second with the second, but then you're adding those two products together. So that will give me, and I can draw this smaller, that will give me what, 0 plus -8? That is -8 is the final. So I'm going to go ahead and keep doing this process. If I wanted to be careful here, I would do the -6 and the -4 in my yellow, and then the 0 and the 2 in the blue. Okay, so that it jumps out at you. Okay, top with the right will give me the top right. -6 times -4 plus -6 times, -4 times -6. That is -24, or positive 24 plus positive 24. So that would give me a positive 48 here. And then to just note where all those numbers came from, remember we had this, and then in pink it would be this. Okay, next, -5. Remember, it's the bottom left, so I need the bottom and the left. We have -5 times 0 plus 5 times 2. That is the first with the first, the second with the second. And that is -5, 5, and 0, 2. So those added together will be 0 plus 10, which is 10. Be our bottom right. So we've got -5 times -4 plus 5 times -6, and -5, 5, -4, -6. Everything is accounted for, and it looks really good. This is going to be 20 plus -30 is -10. So this is my final answer. And obviously you don't need colors if you're going to do this, but I'm hoping that this really helps you understand the process. Now I'm going to do the next one a little bit faster, but I chose this one because it's just a little more complicated. We have a 2x3 matrix and not a 3x2. I know that because one of my students gave me a really nice tip, and that is to go in an L shape when you're thinking of the dimensions. 2x3. This is a 3x2. And yes, those middle two numbers match. There they are. And so what are the dimensions of the answer? The ones on the outside. Because if you think about it, the two middles need to match so that you know you have the same number of numbers in the rows versus the columns. So, the rows of one and the columns of the other. So now I will remind myself that this is going to be a 2x2 matrix, and I need a lot of room once again to make sure I have everything accounted for. All right. I know that maybe I'll do it with no color this time. So I know that I'm going to group everything in the first matrix horizontally and everything in the second matrix vertically. So here's how I get a 2x2. I need to do the firsts and then the seconds and then the thirds together of this top with the left. So that's going to be 2 times 4 plus 2 times 1 plus 4 times 6. Okay. The answer will be, whatever that is. So that's 8 plus 2 is 10 plus 24 is 34. Okay. Now top right. 2 times -2 plus 2 times 0 plus 4 times -3. Okay, so that's -4 plus 0. And then, so that's -4 plus -12 is -16. Next up, -1 times 4 plus negative 5 times 1 plus negative 6 times 6, and then negative 1 times negative 2 plus negative 5 times 0 plus negative 6 times negative 3. So here I have negative 4, that's negative 9. Negative 9 plus negative 36 is negative 45. I have to be careful with all my negatives. When in doubt, write it out or use your calculator here. This next bit would be 2 plus 0 and then plus 18. So that's going to be a positive 20. So there you have it. One, we used all the colors and everything. The second, we just kind of grouped them and thought of, the top and the left and grouped all of the numbers properly together there with the firsts, the seconds, and so on. All right. I think it would be good to try some practice problems. Here they are. 3 by 2 times a 2 by 2 and a 2 by 2 times a 2 by 3. Just a note, if you had like a 2 by 3 and then times a 4 by 5, these numbers do not match, and so you cannot do a problem like that. So it would just be undefined. And another note is that if you're adding matrices, they have to be the same dimensions, but for multiplying the matrices, they actually don't. Just those two middle numbers have to match. So why don't you pause the video, try these, and I will show you the answers. All right, there they are. The first answer is a 3 by 2, second is a 2 by 3. Let us talk about our quote. Happiness is not by chance, but by choice. This is the way I live my life. I try to really hard, and I think it's a really great daily reminder for all of us. So I hope this video benefited you in some way, and I would love if you would subscribe and keep up with the new videos. Feel free to leave your answer to the fun question in the comments. Have a great day.